D2Gs, how you guys doing out there today? Hope everybody's doing well. Alright, got another build here with the Titan, Void. And I want you guys to go ahead and see in the gameplay here background how everything meshes together, how well I use my grenades, and how I get the grenades back, and how I get my overshields and devour, and how I proc devour, and how I go ahead and debuff the yellow bars. Now mind you, in this tier here in the altars, everybody is a yellow bar, so as well as we also have a crutch, which means that our health does not regen as fast as possible. So by me being able to help my allies so that we can have survivability is also very good. So this whole entire build here, being able to help everybody out as well as help myself out, to kill, to weaken the ads, weaken the bosses by me throwing my grenades, me throwing my shields to get overshields back, using the melee, because your shield, when you throw it, it is part of a melee. So when you throw it, you're able to gain a little bit of an overshield at the same time too. And or, you know, thankfully for all of our aspects that we're using, offensive bulwark, if we're using our melee, it helps extend the duration of your shield, as well as all the other fragments and aspects along with it a little bit later on in the breakdown. But yeah, I just want you to go ahead and see in the gameplay how everything meshes together, how I actually utilize all of these things in succession in order for us to actually have a good run together. You know, even though I don't know these the randos here, I'm able to synergize very well with them, and so forth, back and forth. All right, so please take a look at continue looking at this, and you can go ahead and view the breakdown in just a moment. Alright, and then the build goes as follows. So we are using rally barricades, we are using high lift, we are using our shield throw, so that when we throw our shields, we can automatically gain an overshield so long as it touches an enemy. We are using vortex grenades, so when we throw it into a large group of enemies, it'll bring all the enemies into the middle, and it will help you just blow everything up as fast as possible. For our aspects, we're using Bastion, and we are using offensive bulwark. So Bastion, when you drop your rally barricade, you'll go ahead and get a little bit of overshield, as well as your allies can also gain a little bit of that overshield as well too. And the offensive bulwark, so long as you have any type of overshield, it'll go ahead and regenerate all of your grenades as fast as possible, as well as you also gain a little bit of a melee damage, as well as once you go ahead and start punching, if you use your melee or if you throw your shield, it'll also extend the duration of your overshield, or, you know, give it a couple of seconds more of overshield for you. For our fragments, we're going to go ahead and use Echo of Persistence, because we want everything that we have to have the longest duration possible. We are using Echo of Starvation by picking up any void breaches and or orbs of power. It'll grant us Devour. We have Echo of Undermining because once we use our grenades, it'll weaken the target. So if you're throwing it at bosses, it'll weaken the bosses. Kind of like the tractor cannon if you ever used it. Kind of like a little mini debuff. It'll just go ahead and act kind of like the tractor cannon. And our last fragment that we're using is Echo of Instability, which defeating targets with your grenade, it'll grant you volatile rounds to all of your void weapons. Now, for our mods, we are using Void Siphon, we're using Heavy Ammo Finder and Ashes to Assets on our helmets. For our gauntlets, we're using Firepower, Grenade Kickstart, and Bolster and Detonation. And for our creme de la creme, we are using the exotic Armamentarium chest piece for the Titan. And this helps you gain 2 grenade charges. So with all of this synergizing energies that we are having here for all of our aspects and fragments, we were going to go ahead and have our grenades a lot faster. For our boots, we are using Void Weapon Surge, Innervation, and Elemental Charge. And for a Titan Mark, we're using Time Dilation, Reaper, and Bomber. For our weaponry, I will swap between both of these, the Malfeasance and or the Monte Carlo. Malfeasance, if I'm doing a little bit of a harder content and I just want to go ahead and clear ads a little bit faster, I'll use the Malfeasance. If not, then, you know, just to have fun and whatnot, I will use the Monte Carlo. It'll go ahead and grant me a little bit more melee energy. And for our energy slot, we're using Auto Rifle, the Positive Outlook, which has the perk of Repulsor Brace. You can choose any weapon that would have Repulsor Brace on there. I highly suggest it. Either the Repulsor Brace or I have another Positive Outlook with destabilizing rounds. Any one of those 2 perks works perfectly well with any of your Void builds. This weapon, you can go ahead and get it from Zavala. You can actually focus it. If you happen to have any Vanguard Ingrams here, just come right over here, focus it, and just start purchasing this weapon and see if you get the drop RNGs in your favor. And you can happen to get those. Or if you happen to get any other weapons from anything else like raids or any of the dungeons that may have that perk available to you, by all means, go ahead and use it. And last but not least, our weapon here, Machine Gun, which is also another Void weapon. It helps synergize very well with this whole entire build. All right, guys, you want to also to emphasize a little bit on the resilience at 100, and you would like to have discipline at 100. For me, with the fragments that we have chosen, it's gonna go ahead and actually knock off some points here. So just try to do your best to get that as much as possible, as high as possible, and you will be good to go. All of my builds that I try to post here for you guys are not dependent on any of the artifacts for any season, so that way you can go ahead and use the same exact build in any other season and it'll work just fine. If it happens to have for that season any buffs to the build, then we are winning, guys. But all right, that's it for it today. Let me know in the comments down below if you like this build, if it worked out for you. I believe this build is a really good survivability. You can always have access to grenades as fast as possible thanks to the exotic Armamentarium. And you will constantly just keep gaining grenade energy as fast as possible with everything else that's working synergized very well with each other. All right, guys, see you guys on the next one. Peace.